The Sanji hype right now is so real and it's crazy. I'm not gonna fully talk about the episode, but the episode was sick. The animation in that newest episode was out of this world, Demon Slayer level animation, and I think One Piece's soundtrack. It's not the best soundtrack in anime, but it's definitely underappreciated to a high degree. But I really want to talk about Sanji in general, and the fact that he gets a lot of slander. Some of it is for good reason, and some of it is just like, why are you hating? Like, if you prefer Zoro to Sanji, which I honestly do, but I don't think that makes Sanji a bad character, and just because Sanji is a little bit different from Zoro and he's not as cool, doesn't make him any worse. So one thing I want to talk about is the real human emotion behind Sanji, and what really makes him relatable in that sense is that out of all the other Straw Hats, there's Chopper and Usopp that are probably more like a normal person in society, but Sanji's up there and he's definitely the strongest character that's the most relatable, right? It's kind of hard to relate to Luffy. Like, there's no one really in society like Luffy, and no one really like Zoro either. Zoro has this cold demeanor and really cool and calculated and kind of stupid at times too, and Luffy has a really beyond upgoing personality and beyond crazy ambitions, and also kind of stupid too. Sanji is very human and he has real issues, like the fact that in Whole Cake he had family issues, like regular family issues with a father who wants him to be something that he's not, and siblings that are at the time way ahead of him and he's way behind, and he's doing this pirate stuff while all of them are super advanced in science. His father wanted him to fulfill his dream, and his father didn't really care for his mother, and his mother was really the only reason that he was still going. And then when she of course dies, he loses his purpose for in a lot of sense. And the thing with the mask, you really have to look at the symbolism behind the mask breaking. The mask is everything that's holding him down and everything that's holding him back. And everyone in life has something like that holds them back. And when it breaks and he takes it off and he gets away, you can really see that that's him stepping out of his parents' shadow, his family's shadow, and really becoming his own person. And he gets all these other elements too, with the fact of how he wants to save women. It's really because of his love for his mother and the fact that she really is what got him going. And now he has epic moments defending people. And when he asked Robin for help, I think a lot of people were clowning him for it. I think it was a little weird too, because you knew the character that got him was not super strong and he could probably defeat her too. But that's what made it a little weird. But you have to really just look at the symbolism and the theme behind it, and the fact that he is taking the next step to trust someone that in other situations he would solely just protect them. And then in that case, he's evolving to the point where he wants help, he wants assistance, and he's taking that next step forward. Also, some of his other moments that were super cool was when he was trying to use the raid suit, and you could see him struggling to actually use it, but he knew that to protect his friends, he was willing to put his own life at risk and his own mind at risk. And when he asked Zoro to kill him if he goes too far, it was super deep and a super honestly epic moment, because you know the two characters like each other. Without the other, there isn't as much depth in their relationship and depth between the characters, and their rivalry, their sibling-like rivalry, is really cool, because you know that Sanji never really had real siblings like that, and Zoro is that for him. And with the raid suit, you can see he struggles with it so much, because that's what makes him strong, and that will make him stronger and Luffy stronger and help them all achieve their dreams. But you know his mind is at risk because he doesn't know what's happening to his body when he uses it. And it was honestly, I don't know what the consensus is on the raid suit, but I like the symbolism behind it at least. And even if it is a weird buff, like, I typically prefer buffs that really are the character doing something and not like an object making them stronger, if that makes sense. And I don't know how I feel about the raid suit in that sense. But anyways, I think Sanji in general gets a lot of hate for the slander with the whole gag that is so cringe, honestly. I know cringe is even a cringe word to say nowadays, but it's just like, I don't know why you would do it. I know it's just an anime thing, but it honestly just feels so unneeded, and it makes Sanji relatively unlikable for that sole reason, because it's just like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, why is this a thing? But it's really weird, especially with the kid Nami stuff. It was like, what the hell are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? And when he had Nami's body, it was just like, bro, it's just like, no one wants to see that, you know? In general though, he has some extremely good human moments, and when he's crying and when he helps a lady when she drops the food and Whole Cake, And honestly, when he had that whole thing in Whole Cake with Luffy and him wanting to leave Luffy because he doesn't want Luffy to get hurt, that was honestly a really cool moment, and I wish Zoro was there for it, because I honestly think that is the best way to set up a proper Zoro versus Sanji fight. Because even though Luffy let him beat him up, I don't think Zoro would have been going for that. It's very reminiscent of Usopp and Luffy, but for entirely different reasons. And it makes sense that Luffy let himself get beat up, and you could see that it hurt Sanji a lot more. And it would honestly suck even more because you could see that his siblings did not care at all for the fact that Sanji had to do all that and really help propel Sanji to go back into their lives. And it's pretty reminiscent too to Nami and her situation with Arlong. And you can really argue which one it mirrors more, Usopp or Nami. I think I would go with Nami, but I think Sanji too should stop getting all this hate for being a little bit of a weaker character. I know it's a lot of people argue that he's weaker than Yamato or whatever, but it's clear, right, story reasons, he is the third wing, bounty or not. At the end of the story, he will be number 3, Zoro will be number 2. And with the Sanji Queen fight in the anime, I think it was way better because, I don't know if this was just me, I felt like the fight was too short in the manga, and it wasn't as epic, and you didn't really feel the consequences of it that much. I remember it felt a little awkward, and then you had the Zoro fight right after in the manga, and that was also a little shorter than I thought. But the way they executed it on the anime, it was perfect. Like, you got the little bit of flashbacks, and some of the drawn pictures and animation were absolutely insane, and something that should really be held at a high regard. Sanji is just this character that, you know, in this world of super strong characters, you have Usopp, who's literally a normal person, but he's not strong, so you can directly relate to him. But Sanji is one of the first characters that is super strong, but also has those emotions that really make you connect to him on a deeper level, whether it's the family issues, not knowing who you want to be, or just having issues that, you know, other people don't have. And the Zoro debate really takes away, because when you're trying to watch TV or watch anime, whatever it is, you're gonna like a character like Zoro more because you kind of want to step outside your realm of normality and what you consider to be, you know, a typical person you see in society. But I think that's also what makes Sanji special, because he is a normal guy that really just has these personal issues that help drive him to achieve his goals. And his dream of the all blue, though, I do think Oda could really move it forward more, and we really see some progression towards it. And it's just kind of strange. Like, it feels almost like an afterthought. A lot of the dreams right now feel like an afterthought, but I think Oda will fix that, and we'll start getting more progression towards it. But I would just like them to touch on it more. And 2, I don't know if you guys remember at the start of the time skip, there was the whole thing with Sanji's cooking helped to boost the crew and that stuff. I think I would like to see some more of that. They kind of just established it. Oda established that his cooking helped them recover, helped them in all these different ways, and you're just supposed to like assume that whenever he's cooking for them, it does that. I think it's just a cool little neat thing that Oda, I feels like he forgot about. But there's so many things going on right now, especially in the manga, that it's kind of hard to touch back on some of that stuff. But I think after all this hype in the manga, we can go back to a couple chapters, at least in between Egghead and whenever the next arc is, of Sanji, of the Straw Hats just being the Straw Hats, and we really get an update on their dreams. Maybe we'll actually get Luffy's dream revealed. I don't think so, but let me know what you guys think about Sanji down below. I know he's a character of much debate, and that's all I have for you guys today. We're just getting started. We'll stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.